Well, I'm just delighted to be with all of you today. And let me begin by expressing my thanks to all of you in the audience who have returned for the second day of this really impressive summit. I guess how could you not after yesterday's lineup of speakers? And the stakes could not be higher as we continue the discussion today about how to drive action toward a dramatic expansion of high quality civics education. I remember clearly my own first lesson in civics. In 1960, I was a third grade student in Glendale, Missouri, a leafy suburb of St. Louis. It was a presidential election year, and my teacher decided to use the campaign and election as curriculum. She arbitrarily divided the class into two groups. One would follow Nixon's campaign, the other would follow Kennedy's. I was assigned to the Kennedy group, and the discussions in school inspired me to get more directly involved. I convinced my mother to take me to the Kennedy headquarters in downtown St. Louis, where I picked up a supply of buttons and bumper stickers, which I then handed out going door to door in our suburban neighborhood. And the rest, as they say, is history. The year I graduated from college, I ran for the Connecticut State Senate. I lost the election, but the campaign launched me on a career in Connecticut state government. 15 years later, after the fall of the Berlin Wall, I moved to Prague and spent nearly a decade working with an international NGO to help strengthen the nascent democracies of Eastern Europe. In 1999, I was one of the founders of Demos, a research and advocacy organization working to reduce political and economic inequality in the United States. And for the last 20 years, I've served as president of the Rockefeller Brothers Fund, one of the few national foundations with an explicit focus on democracy reform. So you can see the pattern. Democracy has basically been the through line of my career and the guiding principle of my life. And it all started in a third grade classroom. The most important lesson I've learned over all these years is this. Democracy is about much more than formal institutions and processes. It is also about our political culture, our habits of the heart, as Alexis de Tocqueville called them. These are the norms, beliefs, habits, and rituals that inform how we relate to one another and to our shared system of self-government. The crisis of our democracy today is as much a reflection of our culture as it is of our institution. It is a crisis of our corroding trust, our crippling polarization, and our declining civic faith. And the source of these overlapping crises, I believe, lies in our collective failure to invest in civic education. Education that teaches the kind of reflective patriotism, civic friendship, and the knowledge and skills necessary to participate in democratic life, as described so well in the excellent Educating for American Democracy report. For too long, we have undersupported and underbelieved in the education most fundamental to our democracy. Reversing the trends isn't going to be easy, but because of all the people in this virtual room today, I am certain that it is possible. Success is going to require the voices of citizens, including students, teachers, and parents. It will require policymakers on both sides of the political spectrum who have the courage to bridge partisan divides. And it will require funding, including from national and local foundations, which is why I'm very pleased to announce today that the Rockefeller Brothers Fund is increasing our support for the Civics Now Coalition for its critical efforts, for your efforts, to make K-12 civic education a priority in all schools. The RBF is not ordinarily a civic education funder, but as a democracy funder, we know that civic education is too important to ignore, and we hope other national foundations will join us. Each of you, no doubt, has a story of an inspiring civics teacher in your past. Our being here together testifies to how powerful civic education can be. It's up to all of us to ensure that future generations are inspired by that same power. We can start by learning from schools where civic education thrives today. Take, for example, George Washington High School in Chicago, which demonstrates the transformative possibilities of citizen students. I'll let the video you're about to see tell the rest of the story. Thank you very much.